obviously, storage is something that you shouldn't really be thinking about all the time, and that's good storage if you're not thinking about it all the time. So the interface of the storage system is going to be very simple, and I'm not going to go into how it differs in reality television and things like that. I mean, there are some nuances that we're very good at. The ability to create virtual volumes and make those quickly accessible to every client of the network, whether it be fiber channel or Ethernet. You can grab it over your wireless network or grab it over a 16 gig fiber channel if you're going to be doing a DaVinci Resolve workflow in 4K, But we're in reality series here, I understand that. So we scale out to 250 clients, all direct access to the SAN, all direct access over our shared file system, which is not a network file system, it's actually a shared file system customized by us for high optimization, audio and video playback. Very high stream count, even on a single enclosure, in a 5U enclosure up to 96 terabytes. And we're really all about the post-production, whether it be boutique, post for broadcast, reality, whatever it might be. We have customers up and down the range when it comes to that. So Facilis has been around since 2003. Started off with a bunch of ex-Avid guys who thought they can go do it better. And you can decide whether we did or not, but in the end, what we ended up with was something that was usable across multiple applications, all the way from, Final Cut 7 on up, Final Cut X, the DaVinci Resolve, you name it, Sony Vegas, Edius, Avid, of course, with our advanced emulation mode for Avid FS. And all of these things were very important to our customers because they had a lot of different applications. And we're third party to everybody. We're the ones who have to make everything work. So it was beholden on us. Beholden? Is that a word? It was, the onus was on us to make sure that all of these things work seamlessly, and that's why Key Code came to us. That's why Key Code's a great reseller of ours, is because, like Mike said, their job is to put all these things together, and more than hope, they prove it works, and they prove it here, and they prove it in your facilities. So let me grab the thing here. Over here. All right, so we like to stay ahead of the curve, and that's our little thing that we say. But here's Facilis technology. Now, Eric was doing some transcodes, and the transcodes he was doing are ending up on a Facilis SAN volume. We call them volumes. ISIS calls them workspaces. Really the same thing. When we can create something that you can resize and you can use across multiple workstations on a per project basis. You can organize them however you want. You get that low-level media management, the ability to know all your project data exists in one location, or specific categorizations of data within a project exist all in one file system. You can do that, or you can make one big block of storage and go have at it. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, we support all of these different methods over both fiber channel and Ethernet. But let me go in here first real quick and decide I'm going to make a volume. This is a very simple user interface. You can ask Eric. I trained him in about 30 seconds on how to use this. It's really just all about, here's your volumes. Do I have them mounted? Yep, they're green. That means I have them mounted here. And I should be on a Mac, but I don't have a Mac laptop, so here you go. Here's all my volumes sitting up here. They all say Avid FS because they happen to be in emulation mode. On this one, which is there by default. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're in Adobe, if you're in Final Cut or anything else, that's just the way it works. So if I want to create a volume right now and just said, okay, I need something, maybe my audio bounce volume, and I'm going to make that real small. It doesn't need to be very big, 237 gigs, sure. So I can make that across both groups, tandemize it. It basically load balances across all 24 drives in the server. If I want to, I can make it on a single volume on the server as well. And that just gives me a couple of extra options, like I can change dyno RAID methods, I can do RAID 5 or mirroring and things like that, or I can unprotect the volume later on. Most people will opt for this if they have a multi-group system, just going across both groups. Then my RAID 5 kicks in, my multi-user write kicks in, and I just say, okay, go ahead and do it. It makes the volume, it allocates basically a virtualized pool of storage, which always gives you 100% performance, even at 100% capacity. That's important for reality television. Because when you start to think about all the shooting ratios you're getting, all the media you're feeding into the system, having a system with consistent performance all the way up to 100% is extremely important, and we're one of the only ones that do it. So here's my audio bounce volume. That was been created on the server. That's all set. I can go in here and show my permissions. I have a bunch of people with write access. I can just take these guys away. They don't need to see it. Pro Tools isn't going to be dealing, well, they are actually, aren't they? That's my audio bounce. So I'm going to take these guys away, remove them from the volume. I'm simply going to keep my user here on read only, so I'm going to change permission. So I have this here on JimMC. And here's my audio bounce, JimMC. It was my user. It's read-only. I'm going to go ahead and mount that volume. Mounting the audio bounce volume, it pops up, and there it is. Simple as that. You have made a new volume now for your project. You now start ingesting to it, start putting whatever you want on it. Anyone else who puts something on there, I'm going to see it immediately. The updates are automatic and immediate on my workstation. So let me show you some other thing we have here. I have this little FastTracker application. So this is my way to go in and index what Eric is doing. So he's now doing all these transcodes, and I want to manage this in some way. I have different catalogs for different users, and I can set up catalogs for my producers, set up catalogs for the assistants. I can set up catalogs for different jobs in the facility. This one happens to be, let's see, let me make a new catalog. Make a new catalog. It's going to be audio. My audio catalog, don't need a description on that. So now I can go to my index and say, okay, in my audio catalog, of course I'm not doing audio and I'm doing transcode, so I'm going to go to the transcode one. Back up, reverse, bing, ding, ding. Back to the transcode catalog, and I'm going to index the directory. I'm going to index some files, actually, because he made a bunch of them. So here's a bunch of files that are outputted directly from the Telestream box over there, and I'm going to just grab a few of these and say, okay, grab those. Open those up, indexes those, gives me all the metadata. It says, okay, here's what it is. Okay, here's the duration, here's all that. If I want to play it, I double click on it, it plays. Okay, a custom player that exists on any client, whether you don't have to go into the Avid to see that. You know, it just kind of opens it up and goes. So now I can decide, okay, it's going to go ahead and be added to the selected catalog. It goes through and creates a thumbnail view of all the clips. And then when that's done, bang. And bang. All right, so 7 files added. Now, it didn't make a proxy of all those files that quickly. This is called FastTracker. It tracks them very quickly, indexes them, catalogs them very quickly, makes a thumbnail scroll so you can see the action. It's not meant to be sort of a distribution model for all your different codecs. That's what he does, okay? Eric, I mean, if you don't see who I'm pointing to. So now I can go into my search and say, hey, what have I added in the last 10 minutes? Oh, there they are. Okay, so here's all my clips. I can see what's going on here. And I can add custom metadata to them. I say, okay, well this guy, that's the green screen one. Add new tag, and put a comment on that. I'm going to call it Greenie. And now my Greenie one, okay, so if in the future, if I ever want to just search for green, there it is. So very simple, so that's all done. Now this is not sort of the asset management system that a big reality series would have. This doesn't have all the bells and whistles of our partner asset management systems, several of which Key Code will sell you. But it does have the essence of being a very fast way to track media that's on a system that you may already own or you'd put in and not thinking about asset management, and you say, okay, well I need to be able to find this stuff. This is 30, 40 terabytes worth of media. Very quick way to do that in a very scalable way once the system starts to get large, because you're not keeping a whole bunch of proxies online if you don't need to. So that's what I wanted to mention. I also want to mention too, Facilis Terrablock is especially well versed with 4K, 5K, 6K, 8K, whatever K you want to talk about. We're already in these workflows. So the fact that we can scale out to your reality workflow, and we can talk to you when it comes time for these formats to be uplifted to the next level of bit rates is very important. That's where we want to come from for you. And thank you very much for coming, everybody. I really appreciate it.